you're picking up now is advanced visualizations. Now, what do you mean by advanced visualization? So, in the previous sessions, I learned that you already have done some sort of visualization technique, some sort of chart creation, some maps creation, geographic visualizations. So, what I'm going to discuss now is a step about that. Is a little more complex. It's a little more analytical, and of course, a little more useful. Very important session for you to have a grasp on the visualization techniques. What is very important for this session is that you have a strong hold on the basic visualizations, which you have already done in the previous sessions. So I'm assuming you have that command over Tableau, the basic Tableau right now. Uh, I would strongly recommend all of you to do what I am doing, to do along with me. To learn these visualizations, we'll be covering around 8 to 9 advanced visualization methods in this session. So I strongly recommend all of you to keep doing simultaneously, to ask me questions, to make this, please make this a little more interactive, because we're learning chart building here, and if I'm the only one talking, it's not a lot of fun. So just let's try to make it more interactive, and let's try to learn as much as possible. Moving on, let's start our first advanced visual technique. Well, not so advanced, but a little more useful. Uh, Now, I'll need answers from you guys this time. Now, this is a chart. This is a chart which shows you sales and profits for each subcategory. Now, if you have displayed this, you all know how to create a sales chart. You all know how to create a profits chart. But what if your manager, your senior management asks you, is there a particular category we can discontinue? Is there a particular category which we should continue to sell even more? How would you answer that question? We need to analyze data. We need to present data in a very user-friendly way. And if we do it by this way, I think this is probably one of the best visualizations for a three-dimension chart. Now, this shows you the sales and profits for all the product categories. Uh, Now, if I ask you this question, is there any category, any subcategory, while looking at this chart, you feel that this particular company should stop selling, should discontinue? Please answer in the chat window. Can you not see my screen? Tables, definitely. Thank you, Dr. Kavita. Your answer is absolutely correct. Tables is the category which is very high selling item, but which is earning negative profits. So we're using a lot of bandwidth to sell tables. We're using a lot of marketing to sell tables, but unfortunately, the profits on this particular items is negative. On the other hand, telephones and communications are very high selling item. You're selling around 100, 1100,000 pieces of this particular commodity, this particular category, and you're earning 300K of profits on this. So this is the best, you know, subcategory. So why not increase the potential of this? Why not expand this to other geographies? Why not take a little more focus on this one? So these kind of charts could help you to answer those questions. Uh, Preparing this chart is one thing. What to take out of this chart is another. How to present, we'll learn it now. How to create this type of chart. So that's profits and sales for subcategories. Let's move to the new sheet. We'll pick up product subcategories. Very easy chart. Just drag and drop into rows. Pick up sales. Double click on sales and pick up profits. Double click on profits. What we need to do is we need to go to this show me tab, which will give you a range of visualizations. Click on scatter plot chart, go to automatic, choose circle. Let's increase the size of the bubble by going to the size tab. I hope you are all aware of color, size, text, detail, and tooltip. And then I should be in a position to say that this is tables. Let me put up subcategory. and put it into labels. So this would label all the dots and call this the relevant name which it is. So this is a subcategory tables and this is a subcategory telephones and communication. So very easy to make. Just pick up your subcategory, pick up sales, pick up profit, whatever you want to represent, whatever you want to show. Choose the chart. The best chart for this visualization would be a scatter plot chart. To make it a little more interactive, uh, just choose color or square or whatever you feel comfortable with. Increase the size a little, put the categories into labels, and there you go. This gives you the right visualization that tables needs to be discontinued and or even if not discontinued, at least at least brought to the notice of the top management, and telephones and communication should be focused more. So these scatter plot charts, one of the basic 3D charts, would help you identify uh, the best selling categories, and probably some of the categories we need to focus our attention a little more. You can play around with these things. You can choose a circle, you can choose a bar chart, which would not be very useful, but very clear, but rather a circle would serve the purpose the best in this case. I hope this is clear. So I'll move to the next chart, which is very interesting and probably I like it very much. I got to know from the last session you learned how to create a geographical visualization. You learned how to create a map. You also learned how to create a pie chart representing different values. But can you club both of them together? Can you create a pie chart, or sorry, create a map of, let's say, United States, and for each state, can you tell me what are the product categories? What is the split of product categories for each state depending upon the volume? So if you see carefully, look at this chart. What is this representing? These are all the markets which we are dealing with. The dark blue side is the highest sale. I mean, the light blue is the lowest sales. Also, the sale number is represented by the size of the pie chart. If you see that this pie is very small size and this pie is probably the largest size. Why is this so? Because the size of the circle is representing the sales. The split of the pie chart is representing the split of the category sold in a particular region. So very useful for a management to take a decision what is the way forward, what are the next steps for this particular region and for this particular category. It might happen that the management might see that, hey, in New York my furniture category is the maximum thing. Why not uh, do the same model in Arizona, considering they have very same culture, or any other analysis which they would want to gather out of this. So this multiple dimensional chart, which is a geographical visualization, which is the pie chart, can we club both of them together, and can we create something which is more advanced, which is more analytical, something like this? Uh, uh, is this Does this look interesting? Do you think that this is very knowledgeable way of you know uh, giving responses to your teams and managers, and rather than creating multiple charts with and then connect the dots, we should have one visualization which gives us all in one chart. So let's learn how to build this. All of us know how to make maps. We will Let's follow this, and I recommend you do it simultaneously. Let's choose state and province. Simply double click on this. Let's put up sales. Double click on this. Sales will go into colors, and that's how this map comes up. Now what we need to do, how we're going to present this map is, we will duplicate the maps. There's one map and we will duplicate it just as we did it for quick table calculations. I'll create another map. So all I need to do is pick up using the control key, drag and drop it here. Now from one map which I had initially, we now have two maps. The first field would be representing this particular chart. The second field would be representing this particular chart. Any changes which I make here would come on this chart. Any changes which I make here would come on this chart. Now, why I'm doing this? What I'll do is I'll create certain things here and duplicate this and overlap this on this, so that there's one chart which gives us both the values together. So if I go to the second one, if I go to the automatic tab and choose pi here, you'll see the pies, small circles coming. Now, why is the circle coming? Because right now the circles do not represent any split. How we're going to represent this split is very simple. The way we make a pie chart, we'll pick up the product category and put it into colors. You would see that this has been split into three different parts. The pie charts are very small. Let's increase the size a little so that it is visible to all of you. You see the pie charts, right? But the pies are all of the same size. Why is this so? Because right now we haven't put the sales figure into size. Now, if you pick up sales and put into size, these pies are now representing the sales. As in, the bigger the circle of the pie chart, the higher is the sales volume. The smaller the circle, the lower the volume. So all we did was we created a chart, a graph like this, a simple visual graph which you learned in the last geographical visualization session. We duplicated it by using the control key. When we came here in the second chart, from automatic option, we chose pie, and in the pie chart, we dragged and dropped product category into the colors so that the pie is split into multiple parts which are representing the split of product categories in a region. Now, what I do need to do next, I need to overlap the second one. I need to, put the second one on the first one, and I will duplicate this and then say dual access, and it is ready. Uh, I see somebody raised hand. Please go ahead and ask your question. Can you repeat the second map? Definitely, I'll repeat the entire thing. Any other question from anyone? Let us do it again. Let's see. Let me just delete everything here. Uh, all we need to do is create a map, duplicate it. On the second map, we'll put on pies rather than colors, and then we will duplicate it. We'll overlap it. Let's follow it again. Let's do step by step. Now this is advanced visualization. This is not very common, but if it is on your dashboard, it gives the management, it gives the clients a very good impression of your capabilities and the visualization tools. And obviously both of you are in a win-win situation. So just put up the field which is state, double click on this, it would give you all the states of the United States. Now, why it is giving you the US map? Because the data is designed that way. What if it was a world map? Then the world map would have appeared here automatically. We need not to worry about that, right? Uh, this is the map which came here. We will put sales into color. The map is now differentiated by color. The darkest region is the highest selling region. The lowest region is the lowest selling region in terms of sales. What we need to do is we will duplicate it. Just press Control, pick up the field in rows because we want to create multiple rows. If we pick up, drag and drop the columns, the chart would appear on the right hand side. So if you do this, the charts would come below the first one. Now what we have to do now, the first latitude generated field represents the first chart. The second latitude generated field represents the second chart. We'll go to the second one. On the second one, from the automatic column, we will choose the pie column. You will see small dots coming up. The dots do not represent any split as of now, but I want to see the product category split by each state. So how do I do that? I'll pick up my product category, or as a matter of fact, any other field which you want to see. Take a product category and drop it into colors. So you would see all the dots getting converted into pie charts, right? And now what we need to do, all the pie charts are of the same size. We need to make sure that the biggest region should have the biggest pie so that it is a three-dimension chart. So that by looking at a chart, I can see what is the biggest region, and in that biggest region, which category accounts for the maximum sales. So I'll put the sales, pick up sales and put it into size because I want the visualization to be decide on the basis of size, on the basis of sales. So higher the sales, bigger the size, lower the sales, smaller the size. Hence, I'll pick up sales and put it into, drop it into the size window. So now you see there are some pies very small and there are some pies very high. And once you hover over this, you see furniture, technology, and office supplies split very nicely being represented in the pie charts in each state. Uh, the last step which we need to do is click on this tab, this small arrow on the second tab, and click on dual axis, which will duplicate it, which will overlap it and bring it into one. Let's increase the size of the pie charts, and here you go. The visualization is ready. Each chart with a pie graph over it in each state, representing the split of categories. In the previous sessions, you must have learned by various resource persons how to create a chart, how to create a map, and how to create a pie chart differently. But here we are overlapping the two. We are making it more analytical, and that is what this session is called, advanced visualization techniques. Is everyone clear here? So what we can also do is we can probably choose product category and put it into labels, and you will see that all of the names are coming up here, but this makes it really bad. So we'll just remove it, press Ctrl Z, and it's all gone. Any more questions on this? Do you want me to repeat this, or is it all clear? Are you able to do it yourself? Are you doing it simultaneously?
Sir, good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Sir, I couldn't get that dimension on my PC, sir. I've selected the sample store, superstore, and I just get the folders customer order only. How to make it
Ma'am, are you
visible?
talking about this sheet?
Not this sheet, sir. I've opened the Tableau and I went to a new worksheet. But once I select the data from the sample superstore, I get only folders, customer order, like that parameters only visible for me. So I'm unable to cope up with you because of that.
Okay, so ma'am, just to make sure, can you go to this data source tab, the first tab on the Excel on the Tableau?
Yes, yes, sir.
Can you just confirm that this order sheet has been dropped here?
Oh, no, sir, I didn't do that, sir.
Yes, ma'am. So you need to pick up order sheet and drop it
Okay.
here. That's how the data would be reflected.
So we should first select the superstore and then orders must be dropped there.
Yes, ma'am. So first of
Is
all,
that
you
the thing?
added the file.
Okay,
Once it
sir.
is added, the various tabs would appear here,
Yes, sir.
and then you need to pick up one tab and drop it here.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
And that's how all of the data would come in this Tableau file.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So is this a
Okay.
problem
Thanks,
for
sir. I'll
all
call,
of
sir.
you?
No, sir. Myself, I hope so because I'm very.
Okay. So I hope this is clear, ma'am. Do you want me to repeat this? Okay. Uh, Great. So this is something I
Sir,
have done it.
sir,
Yes,
me
ma'am.
too facing the same problem. The dimension is not showing. And
So just a word of caution. After we have, okay, I'll just open a different Tableau file and show you how to do this. So once you open the Tableau,
Sir, the problem, excuse me, sir. The problem is in the analytics tab, we don't get the dimensions like you're showing in your screen. Only it is the title given is as only tables, and under that only we are getting all the
okay, ma'am.
parameters. We don't have
Okay.
a classification like
So
your.
what you need to do when you open a Tableau, I'm sure you're connecting to the Excel file like I'm doing it right here. Once you connect to an Excel and open it,
so there are two databases, sample EU superstore and another one is sample superstore. Which one you have selected?
just choose sample superstore data, and then you would see a screen like this.
Yes.
All you need to do is pick up orders
Okay.
and drag and drop here.
Okay.
And now if you go to the worksheet, it will take some seconds to prepare the data. Now you will see all the dimension and measures.
It is showing all, but it is not showing the that label, menu name, dimension, measures, and everything.
You've
It's
done
showing
exactly.
cities, whatever it is showing in your screen. The same thing is visible here also.
Okay.
The only
Then,
thing is there is no menu name like dimension, measures are not written.
so ma'am, do you see this state or province field?
State is there, no, state provenance is not there.
So maybe ma'am, your data set is different. Are you using the data set which Dr. Devesh shared with all of you?
Yes, yes, that's one.
Okay, that's a little weird because I'm not then sure that why is this happening, because
Mode is there, state or provenance. Only
is
state
it,
is coming. State or provenance is not written. State is there.
ma'am, then choose state. That's the same thing. That is not an issue. If you take the state field, just do it with the state and do exactly like we did here to create this chart.
Visible now.
And these dimensions and measures would come automatically once you upload the sheet. So which version are you on? Is it Tableau Public?
How to check the version?
You must have downloaded it, and once you click on file, you would see open from or save to. This would give you the name of the version. Okay.
To version 2020.2.
Okay, so I guess you are using a trial version which might not support certain
Yes,
of these
it's the trial
things.
version. Everybody uses the trial version.
Yeah, so I guess the version might not support some of these things. So that's why I'm using public version. It is absolutely free, and you could use it anytime you want.
The
Just
public
that the
version, how to download this one?
all we need to do is just download Tableau Public from the web. That's it.
Sir, is that we should not download desktop, Tableau desktop?
No. Just download Tableau Public, because Tableau Desktop is paid version, and this would only, the desktop version will only give you a 14 days trial, and the desktop version might not give you 100% of the functionalities. So if you have, that's not a big problem. It is fine. But the best way to do is to learn is to do it on Tableau Public. Just be cautious.
Okay, sir, because all are using desktop only. Maybe. So, I don't know. Okay, that may be the problem. We are not getting exactly what you are meaning.
Sir?
Hello. Hi, can you see? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I just share my screen, got disconnected. Yeah. So Tableau Public is the best way to learn things, just to be sure to not upload any sensitive data, because this can be viewed by anybody who joins the community. So in case you have any further doubts, I'll share my email ID, ma'am. Just give me the snapshots and I'll look deeper on what the issue is. So in the interest of everybody, let's move to the next tab. Hi, can everybody hear my voice?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So let's move to the next one. After studying the geographical visualization, let's now discuss how to create a funnel chart. How do we create a funnel chart? Now this is something very interesting. This is basically a drop-down way of representing your sales by product categories or by any other. I'm using product categories because it is easier to understand. How do we do that? I need to represent the category which is having the highest sales over the top, and then drill it up to the bottom and to the level which is the lowest category. So in this chart, you would see the office machines having the maximum sales, chairs lowest, stores organization lowest, and rubber bands on the extremely low end. So I'll take a fresh sheet. I'll delete everything here. We will choose a product subcategory. We will choose sales. We will create a chart, a bar chart, and we sort it by descending order. Right? Now I need to duplicate this chart, not over and below, but with the left hand side. What I need to do here is uh, I need to create a field called negative sales. We will create a calculated field. This is the reason I did calculations before doing the visualizations. We need to create a calculated field, negative sales, and then we will put it on the left hand side of this, so that the chart appears on the left and right, and then a funnel can be depicted. So I'll create a calculated field, create calculated field. I will name it negative sales, and all I need to do is press the minus sign and sales. So this field would mean negative sales, right? Can everybody hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So if you see negative sales, Tableau would accept this calculations, and this field is now created, negative sales. We will pick up this negative sales and drag and drop it on the left hand side of this sales. You would see that the chart appears like this now. This is the same representation on the left hand and the right hand size, but It is just a very fancy way of representing something like a drill down method of sales. What I will do is I'll go to size, I'll increase the size a little bit so that the gaps in between the uh, bars go away. Looks like inverted normal distribution. Exactly, sir. Sorry. Then you need to pick up the product category and drop it into colors. And there you go. You now have a colorful description of the sales of all the product categories, and then we coded it by categories. So I know that pink color is technology. So the top ones are technology. The office supplies are probably on the lower side of the curve and are accounting for the lower end sales. So that's how I do it, and I could label it any way I want. I could just pick up profits here and drag and drop into tables. This would show me tables, and I could just put it into a dashboard, which makes it very interesting, advanced visualization. So that's the funnel chart. All we need to do, I'll repeat, somebody asked me to repeat it. I'll just clear everything. All we need to do is pick up a product subcategory, pick up sales, create a chart. Once the chart is created, we will sort it in the descending order by this key. This is a descending order and this is a ascending order of sales. We will we'll create a field called negative sales. We already studied how to create a calculated field. We will create a calculated field called negative sales. We will then pick up the negative sales and drag and drop it on the left hand side of the sales. Something like this, a beautiful funnel chart would come up. We will increase the size of the bars so that the gaps between the bars are minimized and the funnel is rightly depicted. And you could color code it the way you want, either by product category or by product subcategory, or even by manager's name which you created. Right now, I'm going to take a product category into colors tab. So I'll just drag it and drop it in the colors, and you have a funnel chart by product category and by product subcategory. You could pick up probably anything which you want to represent in the labels, the sales. If I go here, if I choose the first one, if I choose sales in the first one, I can also represent profits in the second one. I can represent unit price in the second one by just dragging and dropping in the text column. So that's how you create a funnel chart. On the top are the items, are the categories with the highest sales, and on the bottom are the categories with the lowest sales. I hope everything is clear and we can move to the next visualization. And I also hope that you're all trying it simultaneously, because this is interesting and this is usually a fun thing to do and learn. Great. The next thing we're trying to do is create a word chart. In your college, you must be in a practice of conducting surveys. You must, ask for the advices of students and teachers and create surveys and look forward to analyzing the responses of what's received. And that's what we do all the time in the corporate as well. For any practice, for any business unit, for anything, yes, you mentioned, right, a survey goes through Google Forms, and after the survey, analyze the responses. For objective type questions, it is fine, you could just mark a yes or a no. But what about those things wherein you ask the users to type in a particular answer? How do you decide what are the common words which are being answered by the set of users, the recipients? I'll give you one more example. In the corporate, whenever there is an exit interview, whenever an employee decides to leave an organization and go to another organization, there often is an exit interview which is done by the human resources. Human resources tries and capture the keywords from the conversations which the employee which is going away usually speaks. They might say that they're going for higher education. They might say that they're not happy with the managers. They They might say that they're not happy with the work culture in the company, or they might say that the other company, the next employer, offered them a higher wage. So it could be any reason. So human resources is constantly capturing that data. We do keep getting surveys from our organization, the company I work for, whether or not are you happy in the current organization, what are your motivation to stay in the organization. Motivation to stay in the organizations could be any, whether you want a higher pay raise, or you want a better work culture, the lesser timings, anything. So I created a field of motivation factors, and I'll show you how to create this one. If you see this word art, and you must have seen it million times before, uh, analyzing the responses, the text responses of the recipient, we say that the motivation factor which has been received the most important is development. The employees feel the bigger the size, the higher the stress on that particular word. The development, promotion, good career path, they represent that the employees are really willing to develop. They want to grow in their careers. They want to get promoted. They want to have a good work-life balance. Leaves, on the other hand, play a role, but a little less important role as compared to the rest of the parameters. So how to decide whether how to analyze the text responses, which are usually difficult to read once there are thousands and thousands of responses. Let's learn how to create this. Right. So we'll pick up a new sheet. I delete everything from here. I created a field, and this would probably not be there in the data you have. Motivation factor. So I created a field like culture, development, good career path, good managers. Somebody might be indifferent; they don't have a motivation. They're just there for working, leaves, promotions, training, work from home, work-life balance. These could be the different motivation factors which an employee might have to work in the organization they're currently working for. How do we create a word art out of this? All I need to do is I'll pick up the motivation factor and I'll drop it into, just first of all, let's pick up the number of records and put it into size. I'll pick up motivation factors and put it into label, right? From automatic, I'll choose text. There you go. You see that development and promotion clearly come out to be the largest size, and meaning that they are the most important and the most common responses which have been gathered from the recipients. You can also pick up and put it into color so that it is differently coded, and you can now see that the answer still remains the same. But what I could clearly gauge from the survey that my employees are looking for development and my employees are also looking for promotions. So this is a very interesting way of visualizing something like this in a tableau in a word art format. Uh, I hope this is clear, and yes, sir, I'll definitely share the motivation data, and you can then try it. I'll share the revised sheet, the updated data sheet with all of you after this session, and then you could try it, the word art as well. Anybody, do you want me to repeat this, or should I move to the next visualization? Should I move? Should I go ahead? Is it all clear?
Yes, sir. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Moving on, we have learned how to create a 3D chart which represents sales and profits for each product categories, we have also learned how to create a geographical chart with a multi-dimensional representation of a pie chart. We learned how to create a funnel chart which represents the top selling categories, which are drilled down to the bottom by the lower selling categories. We also learned to create a word chart in Tableau, which is usually a sort of text analytics. Uh, Now I'm going to teach you rather share with you how to create a donut chart. We are all very familiar with the donut chart, and we often see this representation time and again.
Hello,
Uh,
sir.
Hello,
Hello,
sir.
sir.
Yes.
Just I have one query.
Yeah.
Just in the previous example, you said that all the promotion leaves. Sir, if these are there are nearly 10 fields, that's why it is very clear in this aspect. If the fields are very, I mean, very high, so it will be very difficult to manage all the data in the same visualization. So it will the data will be overlapping, sir, in that case. So how to use this for high volume of data?
Yeah. See.
I mean high volume of variable. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. If there are a lot of variables, so Tableau would very well understand that the responses do not match, that the responses of all the participants do not meet with each other. Let's say you are the only person who talk about that good career path is important for you. Somebody else only says that work-life balance is important for you, and there might be 1 lakh different participants where the responses are very different from each other. But in that case, there would be certain elements which would represent, which would be responded by 2 or 3 people. So 2 or 3 of those might say that good managers or work-life balance is important. So what Tableau would do is, although not that would not be the best way to do it, and generally this is not the case because the responses are somewhat similar, because we're talking of a same context, and 10 to 12 parameters are usually what people are looking at. It is rare a case when the variables do not meet with each other, but whenever it meets, whenever it happens, 10,000 responses would be different. There would be at least 5 responses which will be similar. That would stand out. Having said that, that would not mean that this is the answer to the question you're looking for. It would mean that there are 10,000 different people who think differently, and there is no common motivation factor for anybody to stay and work. So that gives you an impression that none of your workers are aligned. Uh, Even if Tableau, even if it is text analytics, even if it any other thing, that would not give you an answer because the data on the backend is not aligned. So that, I think, probably is not a question of what platform are we using to analyze. It is a question of, is the data correct or not.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
I hope it's clear.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I see Anika raised hand. So Anika, if there's any question, please go ahead. Okay. Moving to the next one, we have a donut chart. All of us know how to create a pie chart. Pie chart is very simple. It just happens by the click of a mouse. But what if we want to take the visualization a step ahead, a notch further? Let's learn how to create a donut chart. So let's go to a new sheet. Uh, how to create a donut chart is, first of all, we will begin by creating a simple pie chart. Let's select a product category field. Let's select sales, and then let's choose a pie chart. So a simple pie chart has been created. I'll choose the entire view so that it is right in the center. A simple pie chart has been created with the 3 different parts representing furniture, office supplies, and technology. If you move the mouse, if you move the cursor over the pie chart, you would see the split. How to now create a donut chart out of this? This is interesting. How we'll do this? We will duplicate the pie charts. We'll create 2 pie charts over and below. We will decrease the size of the below one. We will overlap it on the first one and make the color white so that the middle pie chart looks like it's a blank space, but it's actually a white pie chart. So what I'll do is I'll pick up the number of records field and put it into rows. Right. Now, why is this split into 3? Because we have 3 categories called furniture, technology, and office supplies. We need to make sure that it is a one single pie chart. I'll go to the arrow, I'll go to sum, and I'll choose average. just to bring it together. You can choose minimum, you can choose maximum. It will all result into creating one pie chart. What next? I need to duplicate this chart. I'll just pick it up using the control key, drag and drop it here. I will see that the two charts are created, two fields are created, and there are two dimensions, two fields in the marks tab as well. I will go to the lower field. I will remove the color from here so that it is a blank circle. What I will do is I will overlap it. I will make it dual axis. And now I will decrease the size of this chart. You see a blank spot is coming here. I'll right click here and I'll say synchronize axis, and this happens like this. I will now change the color of this chart to white, and the donut chart is ready. Ma'am, people are asking the feedback link in the chat window. So if somebody could help them with the feedback link, that should be great.
Yes, sir. We will post it in the end of the session, sir. You can proceed.
Yeah. So all clear with the donut chart. That's very interesting. It's very easy to create. And it's very useful when it comes to representation because it gives the right idea, it gives the right split. And pie chart, though it serves the same purpose, but then it's a little more interesting to impress the audience you're working for. So I'll just quickly repeat what we did here. I'll delete everything. We need to create a pie chart first. Choose product category, go to sales, create a pie chart, simple pie, choose the entire view so that the pie appears in the middle of the screen. I'll pick up the number of records, put into rows. This will get split into 3 parts. I'll pick it up and do it an average so that it comes back to one particular pie. I will have to duplicate it. I will have to control drag and drop here. On the lower part, I will remove the color, and now I will overlap it with the first part. I'll say dual axis. I'll reduce the size a little. And I will then synchronize the axis. Right click, synchronize axis. And here you will see that the pie chart is coming over the top. I will just edit the axis and not include 0 so that it comes in the middle of the screen. Just change the color to white so that it's crystal clear. And here you go. So the donut chart is ready. Furniture, office supplies, and technology. I hope everything is clear here. Any questions till now? Any questions? Thank you for the feedback, Dave Cheek and Dr. Hemlata. Any questions till now? Anybody? I see that I expect a few questions.
Sir, can you put it in general, overall, with an example? I want that is in general. What are the fields that can be added in measures, like in parameters, in dimensions? Just a general procedure to include and project it in the chart, sir.
Ma'am, usually Tableau is smart enough to pick up the dimensions and measures itself. So whenever you upload any data to Tableau, it would automatically divide all the numeric values and all the string values and differentiate it between dimensions and measures. So if you scroll on the dimensions tab, you will see that on the left hand side of every dimension there is a small key which says ABC.
String. Yes, yes, sir.
ABC. Yeah. This means
Okay.
that this particular value contains a text field. If you go to the measures field, it would contain a hashtag, meaning
Yes,
that
sir.
this contains a numeric field which has a number. You could always pick it up, drag and drop from a dimension to a measure, but it would not result because measure would always be a numeric value.
Okay.
Tableau would pop up an error all the time. So Tableau does it automatically, but you can also do it yourself if you feel that, say for example, you ranked a particular individual, say that 100 participants, and you ranked everybody from 1 to 100. What would Tableau do? Tableau would, because it's a numeric value, Tableau would bring it up to measures. But you want that, you know, if ABC has been associated rank 1, you need to create a field called ABC1. So that way you could continue to keep it in dimensions and not in measures. You could move it up from measures to dimension. You can do it yourself by just dragging and dropping, but that would not be a very useful way of doing. Tableau does it automatically and does it the best way it can. So we need not to worry about what we need to put into dimensions and what we need to put in measures. Tableau does this job for us.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
I see. Can you share the recording of this session, please? I think you guys are doing the recording, so you could contact the coordinators. Thank you for all those who said that they like the session. We have another 2 visualizations, so before uh, finalizing it, we'll move to an area chart. This is a little simple than what we have already studied.
Hello,
Something
sir.
like this. Yeah. Hello.
Hello. Sir, actually, in statistics, we have many questions like, suppose I have 30 observations and I found standard deviation, mean, everything, every parameter of the 30 observations. And suddenly I found that number of observation is wrong. Maybe some observation is changed by some other observation. In that case, every parameter, every statistical parameter changes. Sir, in this way, I mean, you are first creating a pie chart and then you are creating a donut chart from that. So suppose if the number of observations increases, suppose we found that I don't have 3 observations, it should have 4 observations, or maybe it can have 5 observations. Data is coming instantaneously. So how to change from this one, or we need to make another pie chart and again make a donut chart from here?
No, you do not need to create another pie chart. So whenever you have an update in the data you're working with, you need to go to File tab and sorry, in the Data tab, you see a field called Edit Relationship and Replace Data Source, right?
Yes, sir.
So basically, this is blocked because this is a a public format, Tableau public. But whenever you're using the actual Tableau desktop, this field is enabled. So whenever your raw data is updated, you just need to replace data source and click the refresh button. And whenever you click the refresh button, all the charts in all the worksheets and all the dashboards which you have created would get automatically refreshed with the revised values. So even if the fields are increased from 3 to 300, that is not a concern to you because Tableau would do it automatically. All we need to make sure the data is right and not absurd. The data is fine, the data makes sense, and Tableau would pick it up automatically. So we do not need to worry. We just need to replace the data source from here and edit the relation. That's it. We just need to refresh it and we are good to go. No further.
So sir, this is a major drawback of Tableau public, right?
This is a major drawback. So Tableau public is something which is not meant for you to deliver client work or to do some official work. Tableau public is just here to practice. I'm again repeating, please do not upload any sensitive data to your college, to your businesses, to anything on Tableau public, because anybody who creates an account on Tableau public platform would be able to view that data. So Tableau public is just for practice. You just put up a sample data set and start practicing the tool. whenever you want to really create dashboards and you want to work in an organization, you would always have licenses for Tableau desktop, and those are paid licenses, and they charge heavy. So normally individuals do not purchase Tableau; it is the organizations who purchase Tableau. Uh, but definitely, if you want to give it a try, in case you let's say you are engaged in some business or something like that, or your college might do it for you, then you could have a Tableau desktop license, and then the entire organization can use it. So there it gets very easy. So Tableau Public, it's not a limitation for Tableau Public, because Tableau Public is not meant for that activity in actuation. So Tableau Public is giving us an opportunity to learn Tableau. So it's a trial version, I would say.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Sir, can you tell about dashboard usage? Yes, ma'am. Dashboard, although the resource person, I don't know the name, tomorrow is covering Tableau dashboard, but I'll quickly tell you about dashboard, of what it is and how it is being worked, and the later details can be shared with you whenever you have the session on dashboards. So you see that we have been clicking here. Can you see on the bottom of my screen to create a worksheet? And the next tab here is the dashboard. So this is a blank space where you create a dashboard, and all of the worksheets, all of the charts and diagrams which we have created before would come here, and we need to drop in and drag and drop these charts to our dashboard. So for example, I'll just create a very quick dashboard for you. I'll pick it up and drop it here. I just drop a pie chart here. I'll drop the funnel chart here. I'll drop the this chart here, and I will increase the size, width, height, and I'll remove all these legends. So basically, a dashboard is a aggregation of all the worksheets which you have created. So a dashboard is something which you finally deliver it to the end recipient. So you can clean up and modify this a lot. So this is something which is the final deliverable for a client or for a top management, which would give you multiple visualizations together on one piece of paper. There could be a lot of filters, or there would be a lot of parameters, and by the click of the mouse, all of those filters, the changes which on those filters would be reflected in the entire chart in the dashboards. So dashboard is the final deliverable. Dashboard is the aggregation of all the worksheets which we have created. And when I say worksheet, it is the charts which we have been creating in the last 1 hour. One worksheet usually creates one chart, and one dashboard is a combination of all the charts created. So that's a small mini information on dashboard. I'm not getting into details because otherwise the session tomorrow would not be very useful for all of you. Uh, so I hope this answers your question and gives you a quick flavor of what a dashboard is. If you have a data set in Tableau Public installed, do I need internet connection for the same, or can I work offline? No. If you have a data set and Tableau Public, you do not need an internet connection. You just need to play around. We need to upload it on the Tableau and get started with all the visualizations. You will only need an internet connection once you need to save the dashboard or the worksheet. You need to create an account in Tableau Public in order to save the work which you have done, the practice which you have done. Right? I'll now discuss the area chart with you. It is probably one of the simpler charts, and I put it on the second last, because I wanted to, not leave all of you with heavy topics and concepts and visualizations. I'll show you how this works. So this is a simple area chart which tells you that within 2010 and 2013 what has been the movement, and you would normally see uh, the share price movement being reflected in this way. For a company, let's say Amazon, you would see how the share has been performing for the last 5 years, and overall the share has performed like this, but what about different geographies? How has this been doing in India? How has this been doing in the United States and the Europe and likewise? So let's learn how to create an area chart. Let's go to a new sheet. Area chart is always made whenever there is a field called date. Uh, we always need to see that if there is a field, if there is a date, have an order date, only then we can create an area chart. So we have it in this way: 2010, 2011, 13. If you click on the quarter, you would show it, give it for quarter. If you further click, give it for month. So let's do it by month, and then we'll see the sales by month, and then let's choose the area chart. It's a simple chart which shows you from 1 to 12 months how the sales have been. If I want to see the sales for all the product categories, I'll simply put the product category into color. So that would define the three product categories into three different colors and show me that for the three categories, the furniture sales really spiked in the month of November, while this month was usually slow for all the categories. This was the highest selling month, and probably technology did the best here. So any analysis which you would want to create out of this area chart, which is a sort of a timeline on how things have happened in the last few weeks or months or quarters or years. So area chart is usually meant for this purpose. I think this is a simpler one, so I don't think I need to repeat it again. I'll move to the last one, which is the outlier analysis. Now, what is an outlier analysis? Often you would see, if I talk about my experience again in the procurement department, you would get quotes from suppliers about what prices are they willing to sell the commodities we're looking for. Often the prices are similar. If in the UK a bearing would cost £100, we would see the quotes usually ranging from 90 to 110. But there would be some suppliers who quote 60 pounds as one rate or 150 pounds at one rate. So how do you identify those outliers and then deep dive whether 60 has been quoted by mistake or is actually a right price for the thing you're looking for? Is there a compromise on the quality? So how do you do that outlier analysis? So if you see, it's a very simple way of doing it. Let's say product category, and we calculated a field called average profit in the last session or just an hour back. So just see average profit. Let's not take product category, but let's say product subcategory because there's a larger number of items in there. And then if you go to the show me tab, you would see this box and whisker plot chart. If you click here, you would simply see that this this W calculated a range of where all the values lie. It also calculated a median, which is 104 of the values. Now Tableau thinks that this particular range is fine, but there's one particular item which is falling way above the range. And if you see what it is, just move the mouse on it and it will show you it is copiers and facts. So this chart currently represents that the average profit of all the subcategories are within 0 to 500 range, but there's one range, one item which is copiers and facts, wherein the average profit is way above, which is an absolute outlier. Now this is a favorable position to be in because it's profit. What if it was cost? Then it would have been an alarming situation as to why is the cost in this particular subcategory highest, and we need to do something about it. And that's where the visualization is useful because you pointed out to the right thing. So this is basically a chart which is used to outlier, which tells you about outliers, and it's very useful for you to convey the messages, to focus on the right areas. So these were pretty much the visualizations which I wanted to discuss with all of you, and I think I've covered mostly what I wanted to do today. I hope I was able to add value, and I hope you learned good things out of this session. And I also hope that you have been trying it simultaneously uh, while I'm doing this. Thanks to technology, we are all sitting miles away and we have been able to do this session together. Is there any question? Is there anything from the previous session, the calculations, calculated fields, parameters these charts and diagrams wherein you need my help. I'm happy to answer all the questions. I'm happy to take all your doubts. Feel free to speak up now. We have last 10 minutes, so please ask your questions. Please take your doubts.
Thank you, sir. Participants, please raise your questions. Do you have any questions? Please unmute yourself and ask.
Thank you, Dr. Hemlata. I hope you get time to practice it yourself and find it more useful. Anything you want me to repeat from all the
Hello,
things we
sir.
have done? Hello.
So I have a request, sir. Like in the first session, you showed us some calculations by using some keywords or functions. Sir, just can you just make a note and send us to us regarding the functions and how it is used and what is its uses?
I will do that. I will take a snapshot, a screenshot of all the calculations I did, and I'll share the email with Dr. Anand. I don't know if he's here or not, but he was coordinating with me. So, and he can help share it with all of you.
Sir, in all the sessions we had before today, we thought like Tableau is like all about inputting data from a source and visualizing it. But today we first understood that yes, we can do some programming related concepts like C, C++, Python, like inputting some algorithms and finding an output. That was very new, sir, today. So, sir, please list down all the functions so that we can use it where in whatever cases we face in Tableau.
Sure, definitely. I'm happy to help. And whenever an assignment comes up, let me tell you, this visualization is just a way to answer questions. It is just a method, a technique, a platform to find out more insights. So Tableau visualization would usually take 10 to 20% of your time. The rest 90% of the time is usually insights finding, finding the areas where you need to work next. So that is very important. Tableau is just a platform to help you go to the final results. And yes, there are a lot of calculations which need to be done here, probably a lot more than what we could discuss today. So it's over to you now. How do you take it forward?
Thank you, sir. We have one more question from Dr. J. Kavita. She wants to know how to arrange values from ascending order to descending order in funnel chart.
There are two options which are given you right on below the format option. You can just click on ascending and descending, and this will change it for you. It's very simple by the click of your mouse.
Yes, sir. It works. Thank you, sir. Participants, do you have any more questions?
Any questions, any doubts, any recommendations, any feedbacks? I'm
Yeah.
happy for hear
I
anything.
think we have covered all the questions. Thank you, sir.
Okay, great.
Thank you so much for the interesting session. Actually, a big thank you for demonstrating the advanced visualization in simple steps. We have learned how, rather creating multiple charts, we have learned to make it to a simple single chart by overlapping map and file. We have also explained funnel, word art for text analysis, donut, area chart and outlay analysis. It was really an interesting session, sir. Thank you so much for this.
Thank you all for being very patient throughout, and thank you for the management of the college to giving me for this opportunity. And I look forward to associating more with you. I hope this was useful, and I wish you great luck for all your endeavors.
Thank you so much, sir.